Well, here we go. Wouldn't be one of our trips without a little bit of rain. Don't think we're going to have a whole bunch of rain this weekend though. This weekend we are headed down to Mcneil Group Campground with a couple of buddies from Florida Bushcraft. Just going to do a simple overnighter down there and enjoy ourselves. Got a couple little projects I want to do, and basically I just want to go down there, hang out and relax. So that's what we're going to do. Let's get it. Alright, so we have finally made it down here. Spent a little time driving this morning and just kind of slow creeping through the dirt road down there, and it's a beautiful area down here. But now it's time to try to find somewhere to sit up, see if we can find some shade and hang out for a little while. Boy, it is hot out here. Humidity is ridiculous. But I got all set up here now. Cool little spot. I think it's going to work out pretty good. So we're down here with Tampa Jimmy, Bodie Ursackett, and my buddy Eric. And should be a good time down here. We got another buddy that may show up, but I'm not sure yet. But I got something really cool we're going to make for dinner tonight, so I'm excited for that. But I think for now, I am done with everything I need to do. And I'm going to go set my chair up, go hang out with the guys over there, and maybe work on a little project or something. Ultimately, I'm going to go over there and try to cool off for a few minutes. Alright guys, so I am fixing to start carving. I got something I want to make that I'm going to have to be able to use for dinner tonight. But I don't know if you noticed, but a couple weeks ago I posted about the blade starting to come out of this Beavercraft knife. Well, I went ahead and shoved it back in there, and I've got some of this 2-part epoxy, and I'm going to try to mix this stuff up and put it back in there and see if it'll hold. So we're going to go ahead and get that put together, because we got to have that knife to carve up what we're going to do later. So everything is a process, one thing after another. So we're going to start with this. This has got a mixing tip on there, so I'm going to just go ahead and shoot it down in there and hope that that actually works. I guess maybe I should go ahead and do some first. Get it to pre-mix some. There we go. Now, I'll put some in there. Just like that. Now I'm going to get me a rag and clean that up real quick, and we'll try to let it dry. Man, look how pretty that is. Alright. So I need something pretty thin. So we're going to try to split this thing down again if I can. We can try that, see if we can make that work. If not, we got another piece. Alright, let's get this stuff out of the way for now. I decided to use this other piece. So we're going to start and just kind of take some big chunks out of it. Down like this. Same thing on this side. Alright, so I've been working on this for a little while. I got it carved up. If you have any guesses of what this is used for, put them in the comments, and we'll see if you're right here in a little while when we start making dinner. Dinner's going to be pretty good tonight, I think. But Jimmy's got some oil. I think we're going to go ahead and oil this thing up and see what it looks like. Alright, look how cool that looks.
For that movie part. He had to gain like 30 pounds to do it or some shit. Yeah, because it made him look bigger for first we could kill him and shit. So then when he got there, he just ate pizzas and that kind of shit for like the second.
Man, that turned out really cool.
That time they were doing that last month or yesterday.
Alright, we're going the other way.
Yeah, baby. Good job, my friend.
There's some sparks.
That was awesome.
might need a smaller stick. Well, no, it's fat wood. It might burn for a while.
Yeah. I've got some stuff under it too.
Nice.
You know, it's always fun to hang around in camp and cut up with your buddies and joke and tell lies and laugh and have a good time, but it's also nice to just sit around sometimes, have a little peace and quiet, carve a little bit, or work on a project. Well, that turned out pretty neat. So that little ground workshop surf and turf card, that little gig worked out pretty cool. So one of these days we're going to try to make the spear and see what how it turns out. But I always thought that it was kind of neat to try to do this with a piece of bamboo, because people have used bamboo for years in their yard for ornamentals. So you can find bamboo all over the place. Pretty cool little setup. I think it turned out really neat. It's actually good and strong. It's sharp too. But one of these days we'll do the little spear thing on the end of it too, and see how that thing works. So pretty happy with this thing though. Ground workshop turned out really cool.
Yeah, something's eating me up. Let me see a hot dog. Gotta be. I mean, I'll eat frozen french fries.
Hey. To myself. Let's see if this booger works.
Yep.
Y'all headed back?
Yeah, we going to eat too.
Right on. Yep. Y'all welcome back. Y'all welcome back tonight.
Uh-huh.
Earlier I gave you the option to kind of decide what you thought I was making for dinner and what you thought this was for. So if you guessed pizza, you are right. We are using this non bread which doesn't mean non-bread. It's non with 2 A's. Non-bread is the garlic flavor. And we're going to take these little things and make us some little pizzas. And if everything goes right, we're going to bake them in the little bush pot. So we're going to put this thing together and get it in there and see how it goes. Alright, so we got some sauce here. Put this on there. This is way too much sauce for this, but we've got enough bread here that if we want to, we can make another or maybe a couple more. Shouldn't take a whole lot. That sauce is good though. We're gonna smear this around on there. Like that. Now, we got pepperonis. Now I'm gonna do this different. I'm gonna put the pepperonis down and the cheese on top, but I'm gonna do that for a particular reason. Because I want the cheese to hold the pepperonis on. So I know that's not the correct way to do it. So don't come after me in the comments. I know I'm doing it wrong. But this will hold the pepperonis on. So that's why we're doing it that way.
Make sure the meat's secure.
Secure the meat. Tampa Jimmy in the background. Jimmy's always worried about his meat. Alright, now we got some mozzarella. Put some mozzarella on top, if I can keep it on top of the pizza.
I need so spicy, I need penicillin for it.
Something like that. Let's get it in there and see how it does.
Salt, pepper, sage,
No garlic?
Oh, that turned out pretty good. Not too bad. Alright guys, so we're going to try this thing out. It turned out pretty good. It melted the cheese and everything on top of it. And the bread itself is kind of crispy, so I'm going to cut this thing up and see how it did. Here it is. I'm going to just tear it. Yeah. It's pretty good. It really is. I'm happy with that. Super simple. Alright guys, so dinner was delicious. The pizza turned out really good. Baking it in that little bush pot oven thing turned out really cool. What's not cool is out here right now. It is freaking hot. It's the first time I ever remember it being hotter after the sun went down. So we are struggling out here trying to make it. Fingers crossed I'll be able to make it through the night. But other than, I mean, dinner was good. That was a good little recipe. If you have one of those little bush pots, I definitely suggest trying that. It was a lot of fun. But I think I'm going to try to chill now and just sit here and cool off and not worry about anything. So unless something happens, I will see you guys in the morning. I just want to show you something. So the guys took off and went for a walk. But look at this. Look. It is almost 10 o'clock, I think. No. It's almost 9 o'clock. If you can see that. And it's so hot that I'm just sweating bullets right now. I don't know, guys. I may have overestimated this trip. This is kind of ridiculous. Yeah. We got some gators coming up next to camp. Coming this way too. They gonna fight Clash of the Titans style? Oh, that one's a pretty good size, and they're on the right.
Yeah. So there's some pretty heavy draws.
Yeah, he's
He looks like he's probably about a 5-footer.
yeah, something like that. He ain't huge, but
They're about equal.
mm-hmm. Honing in on us.
The other side, that's like, oh, it could be like a game warden or something. You can't get my bag because I'm packing, man.
Yeah, I was laying there and I was like, I wonder what Sean would do if I snuck up to his hammock.
Well, Tim was off early too, wasn't he?
He is. He goes to bed early, leaves early.
Yeah, he does. It made the sound. What's going on here? Turn this thing back on.
Coffee. Well, we made it through, and I'm glad I didn't give up, because it was touch and go there for a few minutes. I was about ready to give up, and to be honest with you, I didn't even get to sleep till after 2 this morning. But after I finally got to sleep and it started to cool off a little bit, I kind of made it through okay. But let's walk around for a minute and talk to these other guys and kind of see how everybody else did. Hey buddy, how did you do last night?
Well, it was rough. It was the bug net just hold in, you know, like all the heat and
Right.
stagnant air. And it was like midnight, and I'm just laying there, and I just have like, you know, little lines of sweat, just enough
Yeah.
to irritate, you know. And I think it was around midnight is when I gave up and just undid my bug net and just folded it back. And I got lucky because there weren't any mosquitoes or like no real bugs to bother me.
Yeah, it wasn't bad with
No.
mosquitoes or bugs or anything.
And my hammock was low enough that once I got rid of the bug net, I could roll over and grab the ground and push myself, and
You get a
my
little
hammock
rock.
would rock
Yeah.
like a little baby. That was nice. And then around 4 o'clock, it got cold enough to where I had to cover up by it and have a quilt or a blanket.
Yeah.
I just had this with me, and I just covered my legs up, and that was all I needed.
Yeah.
And I slept till like 6 until some kind of frog orgy thing happened.
Yeah.
It was like, it must have been 30, 45 frogs just going nuts for like 10,
Yeah.
15 minutes. And then they all went away.
Right.
That's what woke me up. But
Yeah, I heard the frogs too, so it was pretty touch and go there for a little while last night. I was on the edge of packing up and going
I
home.
was like, I am 56 minutes away from my house.
Yeah, it was kind of rough.
56
But,
from the GPS, and I was
Yeah.
like, I could be out of here in 10. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go home. You know, my girlfriend would murder me
yeah.
if I showed up in the middle of the night like that.
Yeah.
Murder.
Eric, how'd you do last night? Eric slept on the ground. He slept in a little
That thing, I might as well just, strip down of my skivvies. And,
Let's go check out Eric's setup.
yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most airy thing that I've got.
Yeah.
You know?
That is pretty nice. So you can get breeze across you the whole time under there. So
It would have been nice to have a breeze last night.
that's
was the
true.
only thing.
We didn't really have any kind of breeze or anything last night. That's what made it kind of so muggy.
Or all day yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool, man. Thank you. I'm gonna run over here and see how Bodier did. Well, Bodier, how'd you do last night?
I actually did pretty good this time right there. I got cold about 2 or 3 o'clock. I went to bed like at 11. I had switched from my hiking pants to shorts and stuff. And but doing the hammock with the tarp with the 2 poles with it open right there. So
Gives you a
if
little
there
more.
was any breeze at all, if there was even one last night, it made it so much cooler. But about probably like 3 a.m. I got even like a little chilly. I had to take my shemaghan from my pillow and actually open it up and use it as a little blanket
Yeah.
and stuff right there. So it was only like 71 degrees last
Right.
night, but it did I thought it was kind of like almost like on the edge of being a little chilly right there.
Right.
But it was actually pleasant then, right there.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad once it finally cooled off.
I think opening it up, getting your.
That's a good idea.
Open it up more, cause I had gone camping last weekend, but I didn't use the poles and had it down, and it just trapped the heat in here like that.
Sure.
It was ridiculous like that. But this, I like it with the poles like this, like that. So.
Yep, it's a good setup, man.
Appreciate you.
Well, thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, we had a good breakfast. Everybody got their coffee and hung out and BS for a little while, but the no-see-ums are getting kind of bad, and everybody's ready to get on out of here. So we're getting packed up and going. Tampa Jimmy's back there in his Jeep getting ready to take off. So I'm gonna get everything packed up. Now I got to do something a little different today. Believe it or not, even though it was very hot yesterday, everything is dewy and wet. So I'm not even going to worry about packing everything up in the stuff sacks, because I got to take them back out when I get home anyway. So I'm going to just wrap everything up and throw it in my Jeep and get out of here. It's that time. Unfortunately, it's been one of those trips. I'm ready to get home.
Later, nerds.
Well, looks like we got everything all packed up and ready to go. It was a rough trip, but it was still fun hanging out with my buddies and everything, and it's always a good time with them. So I have enjoyed myself, but I'm ready to get on the road and get back home. So I think it's time to go. You know, I really did have a good time at this camp out. Not all campouts are the same though. This campout turned out to be a struggle, and I think we all felt it. It was one of those campouts that you just felt like you endured. But that's fine. We all learned a little something from it and still had a good time and got to hang out with our buddies. So all in all, it was a great trip. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you would, give that big thumbs up for me. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on Instagram and on Facebook. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you next week.